right, so I'm here with Danescu, who's the CEO of DXOR. You may have remembered DXOR from our coverage of LogiMat. You guys had your inventory tower in Stuttgart at that show.
Yep.
But tell us what's new. I made the comment when I got here that it looks, it's a different tower, but I learned it's actually not. It's just up higher because they allow you at this show to go higher. How high can it go?
So it goes up to 12 meters, which is about 40 feet.
Oh wow, okay.
So it will scan, when it creates a digital twin of the warehouse, it scans the entire space, basically in one swift pass, like you see behind me.
So some new customers, some exciting news to share, and you're in the US now.
Yeah, there's definitely a bunch of new customers. You asked me what's new, so you've seen the machine, you've seen the robot. What's new is a lot of the underlying artificial intelligence, a lot of the underlying algorithms that we've built into DXOR View. DXOR View is our digital twin platform, so that's basically how we're looking to bring a lot more value, a lot more optimization, and a lot more efficiency to the industry.
So if I had a warehouse, what would DXOR View do for me?
So we can turn around about 1 million square feet every day without any issues. So it's a huge throughput. You do 9,000 pallets an hour. So you would have access, you'd have that complete visibility at your fingertips, basically. But what you would also get is how much occupancy you have in the warehouse. And by that I mean, how well is the warehouse really utilized? Are you storing 2-3 feet pallets in 10 feet rack locations, or are you actually making 100% use of that facility? And more importantly, because you have visibility in one warehouse, you can then extrapolate across the entire warehouse network.
Okay. Anything else I should ask you, Andre, about what's going on?
Probably you shouldn't ask me now because I can't give all the secrets away, but definitely follow us because we have a lot more exciting announcements over the next 2-3 weeks. And as the year goes on, we're definitely going to be looking at probably bringing hundreds of robots here in the US market.
Awesome, that's great. And will you be at Modex in Atlanta in a month?
Absolutely.
All right, well, we'll see you there.
It's an absolute pleasure.
All right, thank you. So I'm here in the Ocado booth with Andy Ingram-Tedd, and Andy has actually been with Ocado from the beginning, helped open the first Hatfield distribution center in the UK.
Yeah, that was in September 2002.
Long time, over 20 years ago, and a lot has happened with Ocado. But I think for some of our American viewers, we ought to start off and tell them actually what Ocado is, right?
Okay,
so
sure.
It's the largest grocery...
So when we started in 2002, it was all about making supermarket shopping the way it should be. So if the previous big invention was the car, and that meant out of town for bigger facilities with more range, the next big invention was the internet. So we are a pure play, we've been that from the very beginning, online grocery retailer.
So you solved the problem of how to get groceries, order them online and get them delivered,
Yep.
and then you created some really interesting technology of your own, and now we're making that available to other folks.
Yeah, so for years, so grocery is a really interesting problem. It's like a 50 item basket size. There's different temperature regimes, different segregation rules, and you've got to collect and pick and pack all of those items and collect them all and deliver them. We do in 1 hour time slot, and that's really, really hard. So we've been using and pushing the technology for years, and we've used lots of different technology over the years. We've used conveyor belt technology, shuttle system technology, you name it, we've used it.
Wow, and you're taking that creative technology that Ocado has built, and now I guess it's part of Ocado Intelligent Automation.
Yes.
And making it available to folks outside of the grocery industry.
We've tackled the grocery challenge, and we're really quite good at it. So you can apply that same technology to other industries. So apparel, pharmaceutical, anything that kind of fits in one of our totes. So we'll have a look later, we'll walk around and look at one of our storage totes. But anything that kind of fits less than the size of a microwave goes in one of our totes, we can do. So shoes, anything.
Here we see the OSRS in action.
Yep.
And you were telling me you actually deploy without a cowling over the robot. So you can see it moving all the time.
Yeah, so if you have a look at some of these bots here, all the grey parts on them, they're actually 3D printed. So we use a technology called multi-jet fusion technology, so it's additive manufacturing. And all the grey parts, which is about 60% of that bot, are all printed. We can print all of the components in a chamber about this size, about 2 chambers, and that will take a day to print all the parts. And we've got some carbon fiber rods, we've got the electronics.
So do you take the printer to the warehouse, to the site, and print it there?
On our test facilities, yes we do, but when we're building thousands of these robots a month, we have a dedicated facility for that.
Can you share any non-grocery customers where it's been deployed?
So we have just announced a new deal, which we're super excited about. So that's with a pharmaceutical company called McKesson in Canada.
Yep. So Andy, this is one of the most impressive Lego sets I think I've ever seen. And there's a lot going on, and I hear there's some Easter eggs out there that I want to find. But tell us a little bit what this is all about.
Okay, look, we built this really just to show potential clients and people wondering and trying to understand the system, how it all fits together, because behind us we have a bit of a grid, and over here we have a bit of a grid. This really shows how it fits. So on the lower level is decant, in the mid level is picking, and on the top level we've got bots that move the totes around, and even picking robots that can take and pick items and pack them into adjacent totes.
So you can consolidate an order basically at the point of pick, I guess, right? And also sequence for loading and truck stop sequence.
We optimize for picking, and then we can buffer completed orders, and then we optimize for outload.
I can see, Andy, that Ocado has learned a lot in the last 22 years on how to do fulfillment. So really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, so I'm here with John Santagate, who's been in this business a long time, but for a few years now you've been running the robot integration business globally at Koerber, which folks in the US will remember as High Jump's WMS platform.
That's right.
So tell us what's going on with Koerber and High Jump.
Yeah, well, we're now Kerber Supply Chain Software, so the Kerber business is set up in different...
My bad. So
no, that's
High
okay.
Jump anymore?
We don't say High Jump anymore.
Right.
We've completely rebranded into Kerber Supply Chain Software. Some big news, right? Last year we announced that we acquired a division of Invista that was their order management and transportation spend optimization platform. So we absorbed those applications into our supply chain business. But broadly speaking, Kerber Supply Chain set up with a supply chain software business. But as we were just talking about, we view autonomous mobile robotics as software-enabled robotics. So it really aligns to the needs of the customers of our software business and allows us to partner with our automation business when we get into more broad projects.
And before we started rolling the camera, John gave me a chance to use your VR picking. I was able to pick on a Locust Spot virtually and also in a Geek Plus work cell. And that will also be available at Modex coming up in Atlanta for folks to try out.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you're here in Vegas, swing by their booth. What's your booth number?
That's booth 1406.
1406 to do some virtual picking and using robots, or check it out in Atlanta.
Absolutely, yeah. Hope to see you in Atlanta, and definitely stop by if you're in Las Vegas.
All right, thanks a lot.
Always a pleasure, Chris. Good to see you.
So we're here at the startup space within Manifest, which I love because you have all these companies. We're about to talk to Glynn LoPresti from Takt. It's a small company. It's been around for, 2.5 years?
Yeah,
less than 10 employees, but they've got real customers and you're creating real business value.
Absolutely.
Tell us what you're doing for your customers.
We are a labor and warehouse intelligence platform. Our job is to help companies move in terms of operational efficiency to become the most productive, efficient, resilient warehouses. Effectively, in short, move more goods through the facility while lowering the cost.
So getting more out of your existing assets through information.
Absolutely.
So if I had Manhattan WMS or Six River Systems or whatever, you would aggregate that above, and I might have different WMSs in different warehouses.
100%, especially for third-party logistics companies. In many cases, you'll have multiple WMSs because you've incorporated some from your customers. We sit on top of one or more WMSs, one or more time card systems, ADP, Kronos, on top of your automation systems. One of our customers is AutoStore, Six River Chucks, as you mentioned. And our job is to aggregate that all so that you can see in real time what's happening inside your warehouse and make decisions in real time.
So what would be one of the, if I was running a warehouse, what would be one of the decisions that I would make that I couldn't really make intelligently before your system, but now that I have that data?
Yeah, effectively there's a battle, right, going on every day where you're just trying to get goods through the warehouse. But what's happening is there are constant updates, changes, unexpected things, trucks coming that weren't expected, trucks that are not showing up when they should be, and we now have to shift labor around, or we need to make adjustments to our productivity and allocation. And so we'll help you identify that immediately. It does no good for me to tell you tomorrow that you had a terrible day yesterday, right?
There were too many people unpacking and they didn't have anything to pack because there weren't enough pickers.
Let's make the following adjustments here.
Very interesting company. It's a small company. How many installs do you have, or how can you quantify it for us?
Sure. No, we're in 16 facilities across North America right now, ranging in size from 50 operators to, in some cases, well over 2,000.
Wow, that's a big building.
Some very large facilities, and happy to say that in 2023 we saved our customers $16 million just 2023 alone. So
Amazing.
yeah, no, it makes a big difference when you get a hold of your operational fundamentals and start thinking proactively.
Exciting, Glenn. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no,
Thank you
listen,
very much.
I appreciate it.
Good
I
luck
appreciate
with
it.
the rest of your time here. And if you're in Las Vegas, swing by the startup space. These guys, Takt, are at K36, and Glenn will show you how the system works.
Always a pleasure, sir.
All right, you take care.
Yeah, have a good one.
Okay, so we're here in the URBX booth at Modex 2024, and I'm with Rudi Luge, who is the founder, CEO?
Chief Commercial Officer with URBX.
Chief Commercial Officer at URBX. Tell our viewers what URBX is. Very interesting solution you have.
Thank you. So URBX is a robotics goods-to-person startup. So the problem we are solving is picking in a warehouse with eaches. And we are around for 5 years, and we're just coming out of a stealth mode, but we are done with our R&D. We started our prototype back in August. We started ordering parts, and now we have a demo site near Boston what can be visited.
So that's important. So if people want to see the system, come to Boston.
Please do so, yeah.
And the weather's starting to get better there already.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a good time in the late spring, summer to see the system in Boston. But you will also be at in Atlanta at Modex.
Yes, that's good, correct.
And working on getting your first customer, I guess?
Yeah, we have 2 guys. They are looking promising. But again, I'm a sales guy, very positive, you know.
But a German sales guy, so there's a good balance there.
There's a
Excellent, Rudi. Well, thank you very much. Very nice to meet you. Safe travels back to Boston, and we'll see you in Atlanta.
See you in Atlanta. Thank you.
Well, as you can see, it's been a wet couple of days here in Las Vegas, but the rain's finally stopped, so we're able to step outside here. It's a wrap for day 2. We saw some really interesting technology. I personally enjoyed the time we spent in the startup lab, and we're going to be back at it tomorrow, so be sure to like us, follow us on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and of course, if you saw something interesting here at Manifest 2024 that you think Robot Advisors should follow and cover, send us a quick email and we'll take a look at it. Thanks, and that's it for now. We'll see you tomorrow.